Hi everybody, Father Bill Holtzinger here, and this is your Friday Reflection. Well, last week I did my video on Wednesday because Aaron was gone on vacation, but that was right before a storm was supposed to happen. Remember, there was going to be like golf ball size hail and lots of thunder and lightning, and what happened? There was not even any wind. It was a big dud. It's funny because the last couple days here, and I'm recording this on Wednesday, the 2nd of April, there's been more wind in the last couple weeks than that one day, or last couple days than last week, at least on that day. But, I think the lessons are still there. We're called to be prepared because there are storms that will happen in our lives. You're working through Lent. I'm working through Lent. That's part of that preparation. Those things that we've chosen to do, hopefully, in your case or in my case, are helping us to be prepared for that day. Not just the storms, but the ultimate day. I think I've shared with you before that and I did this once last year. It's a little bit more, dramatic. I'm not sure if that's the word, but I'm trying to get to bed earlier. It seems simple enough, but I'm a late night person. I could stay up pretty late if I wanted to. But I'm having the home actually have smart plugs and other kinds of things in the house that I can actually speak to, and they can turn on and off. But also I can set them to go on and off at certain times. So I've been having most of the lights go off around 9:20, so that at 9:30 they all go out, so that I head to bed and pronto, so that I can get to bed. So I get up at 5 a.m. and get ready for the day. Well, for me, I've been pretty good about that, but there's been a couple times I have not done that. Sometimes I've stayed up a little bit later, maybe even watched a little more television I should have, and I'm not holding true to my own word. I can justify those things, I suppose, but ultimately I didn't follow through with them. But see, here's the deal. It's not done yet. Lent is continuing, right? We have this week coming up, and then we start Holy Week next week with Palm Sunday. Even then, it's still Lent up until the Triduum starts. That's going to be Holy Thursday, and Good Friday, and Easter Vigil Saturday. So let's continue. Let's push forward and continue our Lenten observance, because what are all these things for? They're really intended so that we make sure that we're not slaves to our feelings and our emotions and our appetites. Some people are giving up chocolate for that reason, so that they love it, but they're withdrawing it for Lent to show that they can do without, that they are not slavish to the chocolate, if that's the case. In my case, I'm not slavish to staying up late. I need to be responsible about going to bed earlier so that I can be more awake and present in the day. And if you know me at all, if you're going to daily mass, you'll know that I'm often kind of grumpy in the morning because I just, that's just how I am, I guess. I keep working at it, but sometimes I fail. I maybe I'm even short with people, but I'm not attempting to do that. That's a default thing. That's not a good thing. But I hope that by getting up earlier, but then going to bed earlier will be a help in that regard. We need to be prepared for that final day. We don't know when it'll come. Hopefully it's not soon for any of us. But if we've then been able to grapple with those things where we find ourselves weak, then we can be strong because God has given us the grace to do those things, and we put our mind to them. So keep going on your Lenten observance, whatever it may be. Don't give up, and maybe start again. And even, while we will finish Lent and go into Easter, does that mean that we don't do these things anymore? Maybe actually going to bed at 9:30 for me is actually a really good thing all the time. Is eating chocolate something that you go without more than not? Or whatever it may be that you're choosing. Consider that those observances now, should they continue, like maybe you gave up smoking during Lent, then maybe you give up smoking permanently. Now you can do it for 6 weeks. And it's a really tough thing, I can imagine. I've never really smoked, so I don't know, but what I've been told, it's pretty tough. Consider it. This is a great way to get a kickstart on that so that you can go forward. And that's how we can be people of virtue, trying to then live a life of virtue, and we're always being prepared for the troubles or the storms that will come our way. So what is it after Lent that you should then either continue or maybe make a new commitment This is not just a Lenten commitment. It's a commitment like maybe it's eating less. I've been trying to actually, instead of having 3 meals a day, been doing 2 meals a day. I think I want to keep with that. I think that's better for me. The weight issue for me is better for that. The health issue for me is better when I do that. But you do what you think you need. In Romans 12, the beginning of Romans 12, we hear this: do not be conformed to this age, but be transformed, or I should say, but be renewed by a transformation of your mind. One of my favorite verses. And that's where a lot of these things come. We're thinking, then that, has an impulse onto our desires. It helps us form what we need to do. And if we can have God, through His grace, transform our thinking, that gives us the ability to then do something about it. Because before we do something, we're thinking about it. But if our thinking has changed to something that God wants us to think, that's muy bueno. We're going in the right direction. And thank you, St. Paul, for that. Well, this weekend, I should say, Deacon Brett is offering the homily. Please pray for him that he can get that together, and so that's effective for all of us who will hear it, and he'll be satisfied with what he has done, that we will also be inspired to live the life that we're called to do. And then I'll just see you this weekend. We're on the home stretch almost. God bless you. Bye-bye.